Welcome, everyone. This is Trey Jadlow. I'm here on this 10th day of January, brand new year, 2017. Time is flying. And I'm here with my friend Mark Conley. Once again, he requested an audience as he was wanting to talk. What was the thread on that we were discussing, Mark?
Was this, I don't even know, was this still on the, oh no, this was on RC Sproul's. I think it was what you posted while he was doing the live stream. And then
That's right. Yeah, and so we got into the whole topic again of intentionality and value and stuff. And so you wanted to discuss that. And so here we are.
Yeah, let's waste no time. So this will be ostensibly like the fourth time we talked about this. But there's some particular details that I try to get out of you. I've tried a few times on text, and I think your Facebook, you probably get bombarded with messages and you don't see every time that I post to you. And
when they start popping like crazy and I'm trying to work, I gotta check it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, no one can blame you for, what is that cat doing? No one can blame you for that. Anyway, yeah, there's some particulars that I really want to pin you down and get you to answer a few questions. So.
Okay, go ahead. Hello?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I guess you cut out there for a minute.
Oh, very sorry. Okay, so yeah, this will be a redux basically of talking about evolution, unintentionality leading to intentionality. That good sentence that you love to say, one of your trademarked Trey Jadlow responses.
Treyisms.
Yeah, if I write a book about you, that's going to be the title. Unintentionality cannot intend whatever.
Oh, there's bingo games out there for my little sayings. Bert's done one, and I think another guy's done one.
Well, that's cute. I'll try and find them later.
So I said, when you watch Trey, just get out your bingo card and look for his little aphorisms in play bingo.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just start off by tackling that sentence that you always say, your Treyism, and so you say it because you say it better than anyone else. Unintentionality can't what now?
Unintentionality cannot intend intentionality.
Okay, so every time you type that or say that, I think every atheist in the world has a collective facepalm moment. Okay, and I think it's not least of which because we agree with you. I agree with that sentence. So if you raise that in objection to what I'm saying, it doesn't even make any sense, because why would you try and counter me with something I agree with?
Mm-hmm.
I agree that unintentionality can't intend anything. By definition, that's what an unintentionality is.
That's right. That's why I say it violates the law of identity.
Right.
But unintentionality is intentionality.
Yeah, I'm not saying that unintentionality is intending anything. Those are different.
You're saying, though, that intentionality somehow gives rise to intentionality. Is that correct?
I mean, you could say give rise, or I think you would prefer I don't. It would be something like intentionality could, or it's not been shown that it's impossible that intentionality can arise as a result of naturalistic unintentional processes.
That's right. So essentially, I mean, you don't like the words, but you are saying that unintentionality gives rise to intentionality.
Right, but I'm
never do that. It does not have that capacity because it's the negation of it. And so in order for it to come about, you're having to posit unintentional non-agency to agent intentionality or agency into existence. You can't have contingent agency without a se agency. It's not possible. It's not logical. It's ex nihilo nihil fit. You violate that principle as well. So in other words, you're saying there's nothing in this particular category. There's nothing.
Can I ask you to pause? I need to ask you to pause. I think my bandwidth is being kind of fought over, so I'm going to go and try and get the person downstairs to lower some bandwidth. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry about that. Oh, okay. Comcast is horrible. We all know that. I wish I had more bandwidth. Okay, I'm so sorry. You cut out like twice during that thing you said. So
Oh,
I'm gonna have
I
to
don't.
ask you. You don't
I
have to
don't
say
know.
it verbatim.
It was an inspired moment. It's gone. I'm sorry.
Oh well, then I guess I win.
Oh my. Okay, so
Hello.
intentionality. All right, you're saying that. All right, I said it's like ex nihilo nihil fit. Out of nothing, nothing comes, and that's exactly what you're positing. You're saying there's an absence of some attribute. We're talking about the realm of volition, which is also teleological. It's purposive. There's no purpose. It's the absence of
Hold on. I
purpose.
don't. Hold on. Stop. You're cutting out, and honestly, I don't know if it's your end or my end.
It's probably my end. Let me go out and come right back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be here. It's fine.
Okay. Let's try again. Am I still cutting out?
Not at the moment, but it kind of just comes.
Jumped a little bit. Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on.
Testing.
No, you just froze again, and I wish I had a way to tell if it was me. I really don't.
Well, see, I don't have that. My internet's not that great. I never had problems until I started talking to you, though.
You're welcome.
Not that it's you, but it's just, you know what? No, I think my internet speeds have slowed.
It might have.
Remember, we looked it up. I'm getting less than
Oh,
two uploading the speed. So
yeah, that's not great.
yeah. So am I still jumping? Hello? Yeah. Hello? That's a bummer. I may have to restart my computer. I may try that and see if that'll help. I'll tell him if I'm recording even now. This is frustrating. He's totally frozen. I wonder if that's me or him. Let me try. I'll be right back.
Hello? Oh,
I wonder if it's me. You totally froze up. I think it might have been me.
nope. I can tell you exactly what happened. My stupid little idiot kitty cat put her little idiot kitty cat foot on my power button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
Well,
special. So,
am I smoother now at all?
uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I turned down my
Check
bandwidth
1, 2.
usage.
All right, let me turn mine down just a little too. It doesn't hurt
You,
anything.
you know what the thing is? Like, you're also doing two uploads at once, and I'm not because you're uploading to me, and then you're also uploading to YouTube at the same time.
Okay. I don't know how
Um,
that works, but I'll trust you.
yeah. Well, magic, I think. Okay, let's
Uh-huh.
see if we can get some complete sentences out before this
Okay.
fails again.
All right. Let me
Okay.
try again here. All right. So I mentioned the maxim of ex nihilo nihil fit. Out of
Right.
nothing, nothing comes. And what
Okay.
you're positing in the realm of volition, you're positing zero, nothing. It's not there. And all of a sudden, that which is a negation of that comes forth out of nothing.
Well,
And
so to be clear, we're not talking about the creation. We're not talking about cosmology, right? We're talking about like a barren Earth and then an Earth with life, right? I'm not talking about like the
yeah, but
empty
we're
void
not.
to the.
Yeah, but that what we're talking about is not. It's not matter, right?
Well,
Volition is
I
not
am.
matter, right?
It might be. I mean,
It's metaphysical, right?
what? So by volition, you mean intentionality, right? Is it
Yeah.
basically? I mean, it could just be the result of purely natural processes.
Natural processes are not volitional. This is the
But
thing,
so
and it's
that
not
means.
matter, right?
So I don't understand how what you're doing right now isn't the fallacy of composition.
The fallacy of composition. What am I composing? All I'm saying is that
You're
matter. You
saying
say
that.
everything. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you're saying that in order for something to have volition, then its components must also have volition, or there has to be volition. from some other source.
I'm
And I don't know.
saying zero volition
Uh-huh.
cannot be volitioned into existence, but it's immaterial by nature. Would you concede that?
Immaterial by nature. You mean so intentionality is
It's not
immaterial by
like,
nature?
show me a package of volition. What color is it? How much does it weigh?
I mean, I could measure brain states and show you neurons of somebody who's intending something. Is that good enough for you or no?
Okay, so you are a
I mean, I
uh,
don't know if that's good enough for you. Does that satisfy what you're asking for or not?
no, because I'm not saying that volition is material.
You're okay. I'm not necessarily saying it is either, but I'm saying that evidence suggests that it is, and it hasn't been proven to not be.
Okay, are you a hard determinist?
I'm pretty sure I have to be, but
Well, yeah, you
kind
have
of,
to be consistent, but then
yeah.
what are we talking about?
I mean, it doesn't really make a difference because it can be the case that the universe is, or I mean, at least intentionality or what sentience is hard determinist, and it feels like it's not. That could be possible.
Okay, but we need to not live by feelings, but by fact. Do you agree with that?
Sure, but it's also that would be the fact that it feels like it's not, and so I can act according to that.
Well, I can act by the feeling that
Sure, you can.
that the world is made out of spaghetti and live
Yeah,
my.
and
In other
people will
words,
look at you really weird when you start eating the ground.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. And I'm not going to go eat the ground. That's the thing. That's the
good,
whole point.
good call, sir.
You're forcing a convenience. Again, you're violating parsimony. You
I mean,
can't make the argument any more difficult than it necessitates.
you can. I mean, so Occam's razor, which you like to invoke, is not a truth detector. Many discoveries are important and shared because they violate Occam's razor. In fact,
No, I'm talking about cheaters in debate.
my my graduate thesis was important because it violated what you would call the principle of parsimony, and
No,
sometimes you bring up Occam's razor.
no, because it was not anything that you posited that it actually was necessary to the argument.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. You know, we talk about this all the time. You know, I can't, if it's convenient. Here's what people always do with me. They'll say, well, God, you know, for the existence of God, they say, well, we don't know what the realm may be outside of that which we have, or they'll say something about Kant did the same thing. We don't know that there's consistency in the realm of God that is here, and that violates parsimony. Again, we can only deal with what we have, and
Sure.
we cannot add layers of difficulty to it because it's convenient.
Well, we can because they haven't been shown to be false, or we can posit them, right? I mean, I'm not going to say that it's the truth.
Okay, but you got to be able to test it, right?
Sure. Can you test that? Can you prove via a test that we're not hard determined?
Well, if we are hard determined, there is no volition, right?
I suppose in a sense that's true, but would you be able to distinguish the difference? Could you devise a test that would distinguish the difference?
Yes, we have nothing to talk about. Why would we talk about that which does not exist?
Because if it's a case where we are hard determined and it feels like we're not, we could be having this exact discussion, and you would have no way of telling.
Arguments are not tested. Scientific are not tested by feeling. They're tested by fact.
Yeah, and you're asserting that something is impossible without any fact to back it up.
Well, yeah, I use the law of identity, ex nihilo nihil.
You're not invoking that right now. That's what you mentioned before when we're talking about life abiogenesis or whatever. Right now, we're talking about determinism.
And determinism is, you're saying the non-existence of something gives rise to the positive of it, and it's not. Same thing with matter. I mean, if you want to say it's purely matter, I want to know how much it weighs. I want to know some of these things about that you say.
I didn't say it's purely matter. It would be the interaction of matter. It's like asking how much does the program Skype weigh? I don't freaking know. That's an irrelevant question.
Okay, but the idea of teleology.
I don't know if teleology is a valid way of looking at anything.
How about teleonomy? Give me that.
That would be. I mean, I think you like to say some weird thing about teleonomy that is contrary to what I can look up right now. But let me look it up. Quality of apparent purposefulness and of goal directedness of structures and functions brought about by natural laws. Sure, I'll go with that.
Okay. Well, to me, that's kind of a stupid definition, because it's tailored to meet with evolution to try to make it sound like it's purpose is purpose, no matter whether it's big or small, long or short. It doesn't matter.
Well,
teleology, they're all the same thing.
they're not all the same thing because
One's short term and one's long term.
No, one implies purpose given by something else, and one implies apparent purpose, but not actual purpose.
Okay, so there really is no purpose to our talking here. It's just it's an illusion.
You know, I feel that way. I mean, no. Wait, so it's just an illusion. You mean like
It's not real.
What's not real? I mean, we're actually talking here.
Yeah,
you mean like?
Not, yeah, but we don't. It's not. There's no such thing as real value or purpose. In other words, we're having a conversation. You value this conversation because you say there's something that is true that leads to the sanctity of existence. But there's really no such thing as a sanctity of existence, right?
You know, I feel that way. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not impressed.
I don't. The thing is, reality doesn't care if Trey Jadlow's impressed.
That's right. So why is it?
So you haven't offered any like logical or empirical argument that I'm wrong. You just said you're not impressed, and that's different.
I just gave you a rational argument. If it doesn't exist, then
you just said if it's the case, then you don't like it. That's all you said. You just said if that's the case, you're not impressed. That doesn't do anything for me. What does that matter? I don't care if you're impressed. It doesn't mean it's not true.
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with your argument because it's silly.
You didn't disprove it. You just said you don't like it.
Sure, I did. No, I didn't say I didn't like it. I said you don't like the fact that there needs to be objective value in order to have any value. So then you say, well, it's just a magic just so story.
What are we talking about now? What's a just so story?
You're saying evolution just did it. That's the.
Are we talking about evolution? I mean,
no,
kind of jumping topics. I know they're related, but you're kind of jumping over a little bit right now.
Okay, you're saying the illusion, which is not real, of value is created by evolution.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not real. So why are we worried about it so much?
Because it feels real, and well, also.
So it's irrational to say that it's real, but we're just going to act like our feelings are true.
Yeah. I mean, so another reason is simply that it makes me happy to behave consistent with my values.
So it's a convenient lie to help you as a crutch for life.
It's not a lie. I'm never lying. I never tell myself that there's.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, I suppose. It's different from a lie.
An illusion is not real.
I mean, but I recognize that. What's wrong with that? That doesn't do anything to prove that what I'm saying is not the case.
Well, sure.
Why?
By your own admission, you just admitted it's an illusion. That which is an illusion is not real.
My feelings that I'm important in my values, right?
They don't correspond to objective reality. It's just an illusion.
I mean, they correspond to objective reality, but not some sort of transcendent ultimate goal or anything, right? It's like it's objective reality. First of all, it's objective reality that I like to be alive and I like to be well fed, for instance. Okay. It's objective reality that when I eat, I feel well fed, and that's one of the things that I like, right? These are all objective things.
That's right. So you're determined for those things, though, right?
No, forget about the determination thing. Let's talk about the sanctity of existence or whatever you're trying to talk about now. The fact that I can measure those things, those are empirical, right? And if it's the case that those are not ultimately true or ultimately valid, what does that have to do with anything? Like, what does it even matter?
That you're deluded.
Yeah, well, I think
that's what it says. In other words, you're doing a scientific experiment that is a lie, and yet you still think it's really important, even though you admit it's a lie.
It's what's the lie? What is the exact lie? But I recognize at the outset that there's no value, right? So I build my own. How is that a lie? There's no lie in.
You've already conceded, my friend, that it's an illusion.
Right. So what's wrong with any of this? I don't understand. Like, how does this prove your cosmology or anything?
My atheists, don't make me give up my atheism, please.
All I've heard so far is that you just don't like it. That's all you've said is like it. This worldview would.
Listen, Mark. You have conceded that your value is an illusion. It's not true. It's not real. It's something you just make up.
Yep. So is yours.
Oh, no, mine's real because I have been made in the image of God by an objective valuer. Therefore, value is real. It's objective. It's true. I have value. All existence, all contingent existence has value. Otherwise, it wouldn't be.
Can you demonstrate that?
Yeah, I just did.
Wow.
I just gave you an argument. Objective. If there's an objective valuer, there is contingent valuer. That's what I am. I am contingent.
So you're saying that you can't be a contingent valuer without an objective valuer. That's essentially your proof.
That's right. Otherwise, you have to
Okay.
appeal
Then
to ex
then you have
nihilo
to
nihil fit.
demonstrate that. You don't have to appeal to ex nihilo nihil fit, right?
I'm sorry?
You don't have to appeal to ex nihilo nihil fit because
Well, I'm not appealing to. I'm saying you have to
no, I
violate.
don't. I don't. Yeah, I'm not saying. No, we're talking about me. I
Okay.
don't have to appeal to ex nihilo nihil fit to say that life came about from non-life.
That would have a value.
Well, sure, but I think one thing, I mean, for there to be a valuer, for there to be me as a valuer, there had to have been life first, because I'm life. I mean, they're certainly related. Yeah, I guess we're jumping again. We're jumping all back and forth, but they're all very related, as you can clearly see.
Yes,
You've kind of
absolutely.
right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the only way that what you're saying constitutes any sort of proof is if you can demonstrate that there cannot be life which would lead to value without an objective valuer.
No, I'm not appealing to life. I'm appealing to a teleology, which you're exhibiting right now. Teleonomy, whatever. Uh-oh, there's JD. I'm going to get out. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully he won't keep bothering me. Whoops, no. Don't know how to do that on my phone very well. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, anyway, so value. Isn't it the same thing? Like you're saying that there couldn't be a valuer without some other objective valuer? There couldn't be the appearance of value without some sort of objective valuer outside.
I'm going to say the real appearance of value is really...
What is the real appearance of value?
Well, you say it's illusory appearance of value. I say it's real.
So how do you demonstrate that the value that you and I both feel, we probably share common experiences of valuing things. How do you prove that that's real and not illusory?
I just said that because since there is an objective creator who is a valuer in and of himself, that which he creates is quite easily transferred to those who are his creatures.
That doesn't prove it, though, because first of all, I disregard your proof that there's a creator at all, right?
Yeah, but you haven't won that argument. I mean, come on.
I mean, I think I did, and you think I didn't, so we're kind of... I mean, so wait, that's kind of a side question, but like, if I seriously think your logic is flawed, and you seriously think mine is flawed, then who's right?
Those who can demonstrate their case, and you keep saying...
I did that. I mean, that's the same question. If I think I demonstrated my case, and you think...
You just told me it's illusory.
That doesn't... no, I told you my value is illusory. It doesn't mean like because we have the same fundamental...
Your existence is dependent, right?
We have the same axioms of the laws of logic and everything. I don't think my reasoning skills are illusory, right? I think those are real. So my logic disproving your argument is, in my worldview, very sound. Sorry, not found. And in yours is sound. So who's right? We're 1-1 right now. Should we go and poll everyone on Earth to determine who's right? Like, just because you disagree with me doesn't mean I'm wrong. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean you're right or you're wrong.
Yes,
or
but
whatever.
I demonstrated through that logic that you say concede that you are wrong, and you have not done that to me. So somebody is trying to go la 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 la. I can't hear you.
Yeah, and I say that's you, and you say that's me. So who's right?
I have an argument. You don't. That's the difference.
Yes, I do. So I think I do, and you think you don't. So who's right?
Yes, but you're... Yes,
sorry, you think you do. Sorry.
Yes, but you are... I think deep down you even know that you're deluding yourself. I mean, you're just saying that because it's convenient.
Deep down, I think you're deluding yourself. So who's right?
Okay, are you self-existent?
That we've been through the reasons that I don't think that's a sufficient argument. But like, all you can do is like, you're so convinced.
You've never offered a rebuttal to that, not once.
What was the question again?
You are not modus ponens.
Sorry, what was the exact question? Just to make sure I'm not thinking of something else.
You are not self-existent, and you know it.
Correct. Yeah, I definitely know that.
Okay,
but that's a whole other topip. So hold on, let's just.
But they are related.
Everything is related, I know, but
it's a great big circle of life.
Shut up. Anyway, don't get all huggy on me. So basically, you have kind of like three prongs of your proof of your theology or theism or whatever. You have the transcendental argument, or the contingency argument, I guess, which is what you were just about to talk about, the self-existent bananas. Then there's what we're talking about, the intentionality. So you think the existence of intentionality is an a priori proof that there is a creator. And then the third one is the sanctity of existence. And those are obviously all related, but I think we can talk about them separately. And I'd like to focus on the second one, right?
Okay.
But I guess we can't, because when I ask you to prove that there couldn't be intentionality in there without a creator, what's your answer?
There couldn't be intentionality there cannot be intentionality without a self-existent intender.
Well, so hold on. Okay, so let's suppose the B theory of time for a second is true, right? I know you don't Well, actually, your argument necessitates the B theory of
Yes,
time.
it does. Indeed,
Right.
it
Okay.
does.
Let's suppose that's true, but there's no deity, there's no God. It's just the universe as a block itself, right?
Okay.
So we have all the matter in the universe, all the energy in the universe.
Hmm.
Who knows how it got here? But hey, you're saying in that case, if we looked at like the early Earth, it is impossible that life could have arisen via naturalistic interactions of just matter and energy.
Hold on a minute. Let me turn my phone off.
Sure.
Life. I don't know how I can concede that, because you're skipping over the argument again conveniently and saying that contingent being, nature,
Mhm.
can somehow sustain itself and change and not change at the same time in the same relationship, and then
That's
somehow
the B
life.
theory of time, is that there's change
Okay, the B
also.
theory of time, but we know that we're not living in a B realm.
Oh, I thought, but
That's the
you
problem.
just didn't you agree with me that your argument necessitates
Ad
the B theory
intra,
of time?
God is B theory. The
Sorry,
time is his invention. But it's distinct from him.
you said, yeah, that's fine. Ad intra, what is it when you said ad
Ad
intra?
in, okay, we talk about God, talk about ad intra and ad extra. Ad intra is how he is in and of himself. Ad extra is how he reveals himself
Okay.
outside of himself, like in the contingent realm.
Okay, so you're saying basically you're saying what I said in our past discussion is that from God's perspective, B theory of time is true, and from ours it's not, or it's change is apparently real.
We don't. Well, no. There's two different. No, there's two different distinctions. They're not the same realm.
Yeah, I think I didn't say that clearly, but I think because
Okay,
I mean I
that's
drew the
fine.
picture and you said that was a decent picture, so
Okay.
I haven't changed my view of what your view is. Anyway, let's just grant me for a second, right, that the universe as a block exists and it doesn't need to be sustained by a creator, because I have no idea how you determine that it needs to be. But just grant it for a second, right? So we only have the universe, we have naturalism, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah,
So
but
what?
you're saying it's a B theory of time, and then you're talking about time, or you're talking about life arising. How does that work? You're contradicting yourself. You're violating the law of
Uh,
identity.
how exactly?
If it is true that a B theory is true, that there is no change, how can life arise?
But there, in a B theory, effectively, like from our perspective, like in the universe, there is change, but those moments of time, as
Okay,
viewed in some external sense, persist. Like,
okay.
like
So
your
there are two different
cosmology.
ontologies.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so you're basically conceding my argument then.
No.
And
This is like what I said before. Like, it's
there's
like
a self-existent realm and there's a contingent realm, is what you're saying.
there's a contingent, the self-existent realm, I guess. What does realm mean? It's like, so imagine
Well, they can't be the same thing.
so imagine just that the easiest way I can describe it is like it's a cassette tape. You've probably heard all this stuff before. The universe is like a cassette tape. You and I are moving along on the reel, but the entirety of the cassette tape never changes, right? It's
Okay, but
always
that violates the law of identity if you're not going to make an ontological distinction in the two.
there is an ontological distinction. Like the whole of the cassette tape never changes, but you and I
Okay.
perceive change.
What you're saying is when you add a whole bunch of contingencies together, somehow they never were formed, and yet you're talking about them being formed. It doesn't make any sense.
They're self-existent. The whole collection is self-existent
Okay, but is it changing?
from our perspective, but not from all perspectives.
Okay, whose perspective does it not change from?
I mean, in your case, it would be the perspective of God, but in my case, there's no who to ask that question. It would be if we could somehow observe
Okay,
from
what
that
gives
perspective.
rise to that which is contingent? Because it needs a composer. You've got, composite being has components which make it
We're
what it
talking
is.
about something that's self-existent, so it has no composer.
You just said there's two distinct ontological distinctions: one that is self, and one that's existent. One that is that is composite.
One that is, I mean, so that I don't understand where the confusion's coming from.
You're not understanding what you're talking about.
I mean, I think you're not understanding what I'm trying to say, and I feel bad about that.
Okay, all right. Well, let's continue to dialogue then.
Like, what? I don't know. Okay, anyway, just whatever objections you have, just put it on hold for a sec, right? Because you clearly have objections.
But you're telling me to affirm something that's silly. Do you understand that? I can't do that. I gotta use my mind.
Okay, so I'm trying to work around. I'm trying to understand from your point of view why, like, how to I can even approach this.
You're like the teenager trying to argue with their parents, and the parents are arguing logic, and the teenager just wants to do what they want to do. And the parents are saying,
sometimes parents are wrong, so I don't know. It doesn't really...
How old are you? You're 25?
27?
Okay. All right. I'll give you a few years. Maybe when you have some kids, you can't imagine the wisdom that comes when actually you have your own kids.
I don't plan to have kids, but if that ever changes, I'll get back to
Well, then you won't get that wisdom.
Dang it. Oh, no, I'm missing out.
You are. You are.
Well,
we were created for the purpose of procreation. Children are the greatest joy that this planet can give us.
Citation needed. Anyway.
That's just Trey Java. I have 6 children. I wish I had more.
Oh, all right.
The greatest joy in my life. Oh, and when you get old, you will know what I'm talking about. If you don't have any children, you will regret not having children once you're old and there's nobody to take care of you.
Maybe I'll have had experiences that I'll say, oh, if I had children, I'm really glad I didn't. So I could have had those experiences. Who knows? Who knows how things will go? Maybe you're right. Maybe not.
Okay.
Anyway, so it seems like I guess it seems like we really can't talk about what I wanted to talk about, right? Because to even ask you to hypothetically suppose that we're in a naturalistic universe is just beyond your suspension of disbelief, it seems.
It's beyond my suspension of rational coherence, and I've got to be rational. One thing about me is it's got to make, I don't know, it drives me nuts when people don't own their ideas and they just say things that are not rational.
I'm owning my ideas, but like the thing is, like, to me, your hypothetical, whatever, your God hypothesis is just as absurd to me as what, like, the level of absurdity you're feeling now. But I'm usually able to just...
Yes, but you've admitted that your view is founded upon emotion, right?
No. That view is not. The only thing founded upon emotion is like the moral views, I guess, that I hold, right? Not like... I don't think my cosmology is founded on emotion. I never conceded that even slightly.
No, I'm specifically speaking of your illusory volition.
Volition? Oh, hard determinism?
No, you're saying that value is...
I mean, if you're saying volition is illusory, you're talking about hard determinism. That's pretty much all you're saying.
Yeah, but you're not willing to concede hard determinism, really, practically speaking.
I am, I think. So I don't, I haven't really thought...
What is jail for?
Well, I'm going to steal language from other people. These are not my original words, but imagine you have a tool, right? Mm-hmm. And the tool, it's like a, I don't know, like a cordless drill. Fine. Okay. Something fairly complex. It has to be something. Okay, so you have a bunch of tools, you have a bunch of drills, and you pull them out to build something, and then you cycle through them. I don't know why, but you pull out this drill, and it doesn't work. It's broken. It's not really its fault that it's broken. It didn't do anything wrong. It's just not working, right? So is there a logical thing you should do with your broken tool that didn't choose to be broken, that is determined to be broken? Maybe you should remove it from the general pool of other tools for maybe the protection of, well, obviously the analogy stops here, but the protection of the other tools, maybe for its own well-being.
So you're assuming the sanctity of existence.
No, it only has to be that the other tools don't want to coexist with what they perceive to be something that's faulty, right? Even if that, like, so the thing is, those other tools, we're talking about people in prison, people and like the common citizens and prisoners. The common citizens perceive the prisoners to be broken, and they don't want to live with them. Whether or not that desire to not live with them is real in some sense or illusory, they're the ones making the decision, so they make that decision. Okay,
so what if we need to get rid of the Jews in the world? And if people decide that Jews are bad for the world?
You'd probably have to convince enough people that that's the right idea. But if you could convince enough people that's the right idea, then there'd be nothing stopping that from happening.
Okay, and it would be perfectly fine, right?
In my opinion, it would not be fine, but I wouldn't be the one making...
Your opinion, we're thinking, remember? No feelings.
My opinion isn't a feeling. It's my opinion that the moon is round. It's not a feeling.
No, you're not. That's your scientific deduction.
Are those? I don't really know if there's much of a difference.
The vanilla ice cream with sardines on it is gross. That's your opinion.
Okay. Well, I just pictured that. Ugh. Okay, so that's what you're distinguished. So like preference, I guess, is the word I would have used.
That's right. So if life is nothing but preference, you say life is just about hard preference, but you really live every moment of your life as if the sanctity of existence is really what determines
Right.
morality.
But that's my answer to that is simply that that's my preference to do that.
Right. So you're not thinking again, right?
What does that mean?
Well, a preference is not something that you have a reason for. It's just something that you have an emotional preference for.
Right. But let's go back to the
And you're telling me I'm not being rational.
No, let's go back to the you're not being rational. Let's go back to the ice cream thing. There's no reason
Mark, do you know that I like you? I kind of like you, you know?
I'm really glad. That's fine. You're allowed. There's no reason in any real sense that I don't like sardines on vanilla ice cream, but it's perfectly coherent and perfectly rational for me to never eat that.
Okay.
That's
And
exactly analogous to what we're talking about.
And so Hitler killing the Jews is the same as sardines on ice cream.
I mean, it's so no, but so like from whose perspective? Because like from the perspective of the sun, yeah, that's the same thing. The sun doesn't care, right? But from the perspective of a human being, it might be the case that the average human being would view the killing of other human beings as something not to do.
So they're determined for the sanctity of existence, right? At the average human being, when it's not broken, as you would say.
Determined for the sanctity of existence. I mean, so I guess that I don't like using the phrase sanctity of existence, but I guess I'd say they're determined to value life in general and human life especially, which is exactly as you'd predict from a Darwinian model.
Oh yeah, Darwin. Oh yeah, Darwin is very teleological. There's no efficient cause for the Darwinian synthesis.
That doesn't mean it's wrong.
There's no. Although he concedes teleonomy, which
I mean, you're very right. Teleonomy, I think, the term was like made up so people could stop using teleology.
Right, right. It's like a cheater word, I think.
It's not really a cheater word. It's like because they want. I mean, if you want a word to say something specific and it doesn't exist, I mean, you have to make a new word. That's fair play. That's not cheating.
But, but you have to account for value in existence or teleology, and so
I mean you have to account for teleology. I'm never going to agree with you on, but you have to. So if you want to say you have
teleonomy, whatever. I mean, there's such a thing in goals in life. Is that true?
Yeah, but you can easily account for that type of thing just with
through your emotions.
But natural selection, you would.
Natural selection does not value anything.
I mean, natural selection, true, but that doesn't mean that it's not a filter. It will have consistent results, right? So we're kind of using different words to say the same thing. Like,
but natural selection is not Mark Conley, right?
Humans valuing, I'll say it, the sanctity of existence is exactly what you would predict from an evolutionary model.
Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah. That's why I mock it. It's so stupid because it doesn't. Darwinian evolution is stupid. It does not predict that. It does not have any value whatsoever. So when you see value, Darwin even couldn't get away from it in the title of his book. I mean,
okay, but we don't. I mean, no one teaches Darwin's book anymore, so who cares? But we can talk about the if you want to call it neo-Darwinian, whatever, you can call it that. It's fine. But
every Darwinian evolution talks about it.
The theory
Richard
of
Dawkins in The Selfish Gene talks about it. Says,
the
but
theory
it's
of evolution
like
by natural selection. The theory of evolution by natural selection would predict that a species would care about its own survival. That's just trivially true.
Okay, so what is the efficient cause for that paradigm then?
Why does there have to be one?
Because you don't have efficiency, you don't have teleology, you don't have teleonomy without personhood.
I mean, so you're saying that we couldn't have gotten to valuing without an efficient cause?
Yeah.
So then the efficient cause is just the natural processes that gave rise to life and drive evolution.
Those are instrumental.
They can be both. You don't know that they can't be the efficient cause. Well, there may not be any cause other than those.
Okay, well, instrumentality is basically a subset of efficiency. And I think Aristotle didn't even teach it. I think it was Simplicius, Simplicius of Cilicia. I think he was a Neoplatonist.
As an aside, it's kind of weird to me that we even talk about this because I mean, what Aristotle thought is so irrelevant to what we can like empirically measure.
It's convenient for you to say so.
No, just because. See, here's the thing: if you had some sort of like philosophical argument that you said something was impossible, and then I had an empirical measurement that it happened, there's never a chance when I would favor the philosophical argument over empiricism.
No, but you can't do the empiricism without the philosophical. That's the problem. That's the foundation. You got the mind before the...
I think you just missed what I said. I mean, there's obviously some principles we have to hold true to evaluate our observations, right?
So we must
But
assume them, right, to be
but
true?
that doesn't at all contradict what I just said. So if you said it's impossible for something based on some a priori philosophical argument, and then I
Mhm.
went out and observed exactly that thing that you said was impossible, I would immediately
You,
disregard your philosophy.
well, yeah, that's fine. Go out, show me where you can observe unintentionality, intending intention.
That's, I mean, so then you agree with my point that just because Aristotle thought something had to be the case,
Absolutely,
doesn't at all mean
yes,
it's the case. Okay,
that's
fine.
right. That's why there was in the late Middle Ages there was a moving away from Aristotle, and they moved toward
It
nominalism because of that very reason, because they
doesn't
were
matter.
worshiping
Doesn't matter
Aristotle.
what the ism is. It's not about Aristotle. It's about any person who just reasons something isn't going to be the arbiter of truth. I think
No, but
empiricism.
you can test their ideas to be coherent or helpful, though.
Right. But even if you, right. But the point is, no matter who says it, if you give me some philosophical a priori argument about something and my empirical measurements disagree with you, then you're gone. Your
No, no,
philosophy is
no,
gone.
empiric. You got to be careful about that because you make mistakes in your measurements. Do you agree with that?
Sure. Yeah. No. I
Okay,
mean,
that's
I
why
don't.
we're always evolving with our both with our philosophy
I,
and with our empiricism.
I know I didn't specify, but I didn't mean to imply that if I saw something once, I'd be like, oh, that's the case. No. If I could have repeatable, you know, done by multiple people, peer-reviewed type studies and all that stuff, yeah. I didn't mean to say like one measurement.
And is it possible for somebody to come along and to question that paradigm and disprove it after 1,000 years?
Of course.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I certainly agree with
We've
that.
always got to be open-minded.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, and I think that's especially true of what philosophers said thousands of years ago.
I think so too, and I think that we can leave something that is good. See what that in the early modern period during the Enlightenment, they completely Aristotle's physics were bad. Okay, and so you had Newton's physics come and replace Aristotle's physics, and what they did is they threw out Aristotle's causality as well, and just started saying, well, causality is just one bit of matter interacting with another bit of matter, and they did away with formal and final causality, and it was a mistake. They went too far, and we need to go back and have a renaissance, go back and a
I mean,
rebirth and
so
study some of the ancients.
I feel like it sounded like you agreed with a bunch of what I said, but then you just redacted that by saying we need to. I don't care about what Aristotle said at all. Is the
I
point?
know that's your problem. You're too
I,
shallow. You're not willing to look in the past and learn. No, I'm serious.
no, I'm willing to. No, that's not the point. Like I'm fine. I read it a lot. I actually have the page pulled up on Wikipedia. I can learn it whenever I want. The point is that just because he said that there should be four causes doesn't mean that there's going to be four causes. It doesn't mean that at all. Like his
No,
musings
just
on
because he
reality.
says it does not. But I want you to tell me how you can have unintentionality accidentally or
Right.
unintentionally.
Okay. So
That's
that's
where
good.
I'm logicking.
We led right back to where we had to be. So that's good. So you're saying that if life or whatever intentionality came about naturalistically, there was no efficient cause. But I don't care. First of all, and second of all, you could just say that the laws of nature or physics or chemistry or whatever are the efficient cause.
No, they're not efficient because they're not unifying the diversity into a coherent whole for a purpose, for the sanctity of existence.
So you also, just because Aristotle said there had to be a purpose, I don't care. I don't necessarily think there has to be some grand purpose. Things can happen.
But you concede purpose on a short level. I don't care if it's long term, short term. It doesn't matter. If one modicum of purpose exists, then efficiency must exist,
I disagree with that
which is
entirely.
self-existent ultimately.
That needs some demonstration, because then basically you're saying that
That's
the
what I'm
existence then all you've said then is that the existence of an atom proves there's some efficient cause. Because like
yes,
what I'm saying is
contingent.
that if life just came about naturalistically completely, right, then you would say that there's some purpose there, and I would say, well, there's not really a purpose. It's just being guided by the laws of reality, whatever those are, physics or chemistry. And you would say, well, that still counts. That purpose means there's efficiency. But analogous to that would be the fact that an electron around an atom is just, by the laws of reality, is bound to be in certain orbitals or whatever and behave a certain way. And
Well,
that counts that counts as purpose in the same way that life under what you're saying, right? That's the same type of purpose as atoms interacting to make life.
No, I wouldn't put your volition on the same level as like electrons going around an atom.
But would you under my worldview?
Under your worldview, no, absolutely not. Because you even recognize that there's a difference between your choices and the movement of the atomic matter.
I mean, if I'm a hard determinist, then I don't.
Right, but you're not a hard determinist.
I think I am.
You're not a consistent hard determinist. Let me say that.
I mean, so the most honest answer would be I am, but it makes me uncomfortable. But that doesn't change what I think
Okay.
is true.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Oh, okay. I mean, so yeah, it would really suck if I was if hard determinism were true, I think, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Um, and I have to grapple with that, and we all do.
Okay. Well, listen, I need to get going. I couldn't sleep last night. I don't, I
Oh, okay.
when
You
I,
were yawning. Sorry.
yeah, well, I just couldn't sleep last night, and I need to get to bed early tonight.
I'm just going to assume I'm really boring.
No, no, not that at all. No, could you tell I kind of didn't really want to do it? I was kind of waiting for you to come and
Yeah.
ask me because I was just like, I'm just kind of slugging today.
Okay. All right. Get out of here. Go take a nap.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the interaction, and I very much enjoyed, and I know we'll talk again.
Probably. All right. I'll see you later then.
Okay, Mark, take it
All
easy.
right, you too. Bye.